Was staying on Russia's attack of Ukraine, and to help us have this conversation, we have Director General, Bolytag Centre for International Diplomacy and Strategic Studies, Professor Bola Akinterinwa. He joins us in the studio. Good to have you join us, Prof.
Thank you.
We've had a conversation on this before, and you said that this was going to happen. Even while the world was still depending on diplomacy, and you said this was going to happen. But I want to begin with Nigeria, because that's home. We have some Nigerian students and Nigerians living in Ukraine, and there's been calls for them to be evacuated. And we saw the National Assembly or House of Reps yesterday deliberating on that, and one lawmaker particularly saying we're doing this late. But let me ask you what you make of our response so far in terms of our nationals in Ukraine.
Well, I don't know of any response to talk about, apart from policy declarations that at best amount to nothing. What we have done so far, first of all, let's look at it from the perspective of the Embassy of Nigeria in Kiev. I think January, third week in January, either January 22nd, 24th, for those things, a press statement was issued by the embassy asking Nigerians there to find ways of addressing the problem of insecurity.
Take personal responsibility for their safety and security.
Yes, all those things. So that is the advice you could give, nothing more than that. Clearly showing that the government is saying it does not have any more concrete means of protecting them. Then on February 22nd, just about a day or 2 days ago, another statement was made, still telling them to say, look, those who want to stay, they can stay, but others to find ways of escaping, taking, personal responsibility for their safety. So beyond writing all these advisories, what is it that they have done? So you see, I've said it a number of times. A government that does not have a programmatic foreign policy, a government that does not have foreign policy focus, a government that does not have any policy strategy of protecting its citizens in cases of emergency, a government that will only continue to react. Please, all these point to failure of good governance. You don't have to be reacting. Other countries have pointed to the need for them to get their citizens ready to escape before the deepening of the crisis. We didn't do that. Now it takes the courage of a National Assembly to be calling, asking either the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, I think I watched that program, saying that can you travel the following day? And he now said yes, which they are referring to today. This is the basis upon which they are going. Now I ask you, what is the role of a Minister of Foreign Affairs?
And that's what was great, because governance is basically about two things: domestic policies and foreign policy. And whether you get your domestic policies right, you have citizens who live abroad, and so your foreign policy must also be all-encompassing. Now the airspace in Ukraine is closed. We say we are going there with a special flight. That was what was noted. Is there any way, what's the arrangement that can be made based on relations with Ukraine to allow us to evacuate our citizens, knowing that airspace both in Russia and Ukraine are closed at this time?
You see, even in a peace situation, no plane can land in any country without prior permission, without clearance. You need to get that permission. Now, the Ukrainian government has declared a state of emergency and has banned all commercial flights for 30 days. Now, for us to say we are going there to go and negotiate, we are now saying that we are going to ask for exception, which means prior permission must have been granted. That is what we should be looking forward to. In this case, many Nigerians, those who are smart, have tried to go by road. They've gone to Poland, and I think the Indian embassy too, we are told, has been collaborating, trying to assist Nigerians, taking them along with other Indians. So from Poland, they can find their new directions. So in this case, I cannot imagine how Nigeria will be given an exception in a war situation. It's very difficult. We have failed, and we are most likely to continue to fail because we do not have any policy of protecting Nigerians. One. Then as leader of Africa, or as leader in Africa, you see, what should have been done under normal circumstances is for Nigeria to provide leadership for the West African region or for the whole of Africa by, before now, getting a plane there, asking all African students in Ukraine to come. That is leadership by example. Now, this leadership must must take a multidimensional form in any case. So, you do not need to wait for Ethiopia, South Africa, Egypt to be bringing their citizens back. They should be going through Nigeria.
Absolutely, and we hope that they are able to evacuate as citizens or nationals as soon as possible. But I just want to quickly ask you if you can answer this quickly, Prof, because of time. Africa has been quiet, except for South Africa, that has released a statement urging for diplomatic negotiations between both country and resolution as well. Does this have any impact on us as a continent? What's happening between Ukraine and Russia? Does it have any significant impact on Africa?
It does, because many, about 7,000 Nigerians there, 6,000 they are students. You can now see that, look, our future students, future leaders, future professionals, they are in Kyiv. So whatever happens there cannot but affect us directly. So in this case, I think if Nigeria has not done what it should have done, and South Africa is now playing our role, well, we should commend South Africa for taking that initiative.
All right, thank you so much, Prof, for talking to us. The Director General, Bolytag Centre for International Diplomacy and Strategic Studies, Professor Bola Akinterinwa. Thank you.